Good evening. My name is Craig Slutskin. Welcome to Community Education Council 2. This is our calendar meeting. I'll call this meeting to order. Can we have the interpreters come up? While they're doing that, if you haven't signed up for the public speaking session, if you'd like to, please do so now.
Good evening. This is the announcement. Si alguien necesita servicio de interpretación, pueden pasar a recoger su teléfono y pues
There's.
puestos para ayudarlo. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Here's the Mandarin announcement. 那今天晚上呢，我们都会有普通话的翻译服务。那如果大家有需要的话，就可以去那边拿那个仪器，然后呢，用完之后归还就可以了。谢谢。
Yeah. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. I'm going to I'm going to take the roll call and ask our secretary, interim secretary, Danielle Egorov to take attendance. Allison Bowen is not here. She submitted a request for excusal. Gloria Chu is not here. She requested an excusal. So that's granted. Daniela Egorov.
Here.
Daniela Egorov is here. Gavin Healy.
Here.
Gavin Healy is here. Aaron Carr.
Here.
Aaron Carr is here. Cody Lindquist.
Here.
Cody Lindquist is here. Russ Mavlinov.
Here.
Russ Mavlinov is here. Tamara Reed. Tamara Reed is not here. Sabina Serenise. Sabina Serenise requested an excusal for medical reasons, and Craig Slutskin is here. So that is 6. We do not have a quorum, and I apologize that we're not going to have a quorum tonight. But that being said, we still have a meeting. So what we will have tonight is we will have a public speaker session. We'll have the president's report and a superintendent's report. We will not be considering the 4 resolutions. They will be pushed to next month. But that being said, there's still going to be a speaker session. Everybody will get 2 minutes to speak. So again, if you haven't signed up yet, please do so. Okay, so we'll start with the public speaker session. Yeah. While we're doing that, I just want to start the meeting by asking everyone to have civility towards one another and respect towards another. I'm going to ask everyone to show respect when others are speaking. This goes both ways. I'm also going to ask council members and the audience to respect and listen to each other. I'll also ask members of the audience to let others be heard. Thank you. Everyone has the right not only to speak, but to be heard as well. Please no heckling. Please no profanity. We may have students listening at home. You don't have to agree or disagree with other people, but everyone does have a right to speak their mind on issues that are important to them. I'll also ask for the folks at home that comments in the chat be kept respectful as well. If there are issues, we do reserve the right to shut off the chat function, but hopefully we won't get to that point. When we call your name, you're going to get 2 minutes. Erin, Councilmember Carr is going to do the time. She'll be your timekeeper. She'll give you a warning when it's about to expire. If you can speak, go over to the table/podium over there. And again, you'll have 2 minutes. If you signed up for the second speaker session, we're only going to have one because we don't have a quorum. So if you only signed up for the second, I'm assuming that isn't really the case. But if anybody only signed up for the second, please sign up for the first now. Yeah. Okay. And the first we'll go through. Well, I'll call 3 people so people know that they're up. The first 3 speakers are going to be Rachel Miller, Sarah Rothermel, I'm sorry if I mispronounced, and Christine Shu. So Rachel, you can go first.
Yeah.
Might as well give you the one. Might as well.
For the people at home.
People at home, it's a little easier.
Yeah, we have a Zoom.
All right. For the people at home. Hi, I'm Rachel. I'm a mom and PTA president at the River School, and I'm here to advocate for the dignity of the River School community. Our school is in crisis, and it's time for us to address it head on. Our dedicated teachers recently cast a resounding 93% vote of no confidence in the current leadership. This isn't just a statistic, it's a desperate plea for the heart of our school community. Imagine the courage it takes for our educators to speak out so overwhelmingly. They've done so because they are witnessing firsthand the detrimental impact of the current environment. We are seeing high teacher turnover. Our school that has 57% of teachers 3+ years experience compared to a school 3 blocks away with 81%. It's a revolving door that disrupts learning and destabilizes our classrooms. Experienced, passionate teachers are leaving, and with them goes invaluable institutional knowledge and consistent presence our students desperately need. Our leadership did not even apply for class size funding. My rising 3rd grader had a wonderful pre-K teacher, kindergarten teacher, 1st grade teacher, and science teacher who made her want to be a scientist. All of those are teachers that my son will never experience. They have all left. They have all cited the current leadership as the reason why. Even more alarming, our most vulnerable students are being failed. We are hearing disturbing reports of students being denied mandated IEP services, and these services are not optional. They are legally required and critically important for students with special needs to thrive. Denying them is not only a breach of trust, but a significant disservice to all their children's families. The situation demands immediate and decisive action. Their investigations have been ongoing since May and June. We are starting the school year with the current leadership still in place, and we are basically asking our teachers who put their careers on the line to stand up for themselves, our school, and our parents, and our children, most importantly, to essentially face their accuser with a smile on their faces in less than 4 weeks. We need strong, transparent, and empathetic leadership that listens to our teachers, prioritizes the well-being of all students, and understands the importance of providing every child with the education they deserve. Supporting the River School means advocating
You
for
can
change
wrap
in
up.
leadership.
You can start wrapping up. Finish your sentence though. Finish your stuff.
Means that we restore confidence, retain our talented teachers, and ensure every student receives support they are entitled to. Our children's futures depend on it.
Thank you, Rachel. Sarah?
Hi, my name is Sarah, and I'm a resident parent at the River School. Hi, my name is Sarah. I'm a relatively new parent at the River School. My daughter started kindergarten last year. I specifically went to the River School, not just because it's my zone school, but because I had heard wonderful things about the teachers and the staff at that school. And from my perspective, the teachers are incredible. My daughter had the most wonderful kindergarten year. I was very nervous with her starting school, and her teachers made it wonderful. When I get to hear from these teachers the situation they're being put under by Principal Orleans, when I learned my daughter no longer has a science teacher, when I learned that there were multiple vacancies in the 1st grade, there are 85 rising 1st graders, 92 rising kindergartners. There were 96 kindergartners my daughter's year. And we had no teachers. My understanding from Superintendent McGuire is those positions have now been filled, which is a relief for all of us parents. At the same time, it is also our understanding that we don't know anything about these teachers, that Principal Orleans, the person who is at the heart of all the River School problems, has hired these people. And there's been no hiring committee. That is very nervous to us. It is also my understanding, I don't know if we have an art teacher. The art teacher was so put out by Principal Orleans's conduct that she reached out to me as a lawyer to find her a lawyer to bring claims for discrimination and retaliation. Fortunately, the district saw fit not to proceed with the discontinuous process that was clearly filed because they did not like, Ms. Principal Orleans did not like this teacher. She's not the only teacher that I've heard from that wants to know of potential legal counsel for the treatment by Principal Orleans. This is not someone who can stay. I'm a lawyer, I work in the insurance industry, and I'm on your side. I represent the district.
Finish your sentence. Finish your sentence.
I represented the district. I'm the employment side, the employer side. But a 93% vote, that's all but one teacher expressed no confidence in this principal, and she is still here starting the year. That is depressing, and it's going to be something our children are going to pay for.
Thank you. Thank you, Sarah.
Hi, I'm Shem Rodriguez. I am the wife of Nelson Rodriguez, who is the paro who works at DS-281. He started as a sub, got hired by Jessica Orleans, and eventually she started picking on him within the second year. When I say pick, it is constant calling to the office over the PA system like you're a 5-year-old child being called to the principal's office. To the point where she puts him out during winter, the early part of winter going to the deep part of it, to stand up out in the yard to watch kids play for 3 hours. Also had him go in the hallway to sit as a monitor. Mind you, there were kids who were there who needed IEP person as a one-to-one. He's a para, that is his job. That is what the DO pays him for. Said he's sitting there for 3 hours watching the hallway and doing bathroom duty. That is not what he went there for. Okay. And another thing she tends to do is give him responsibilities that she wants him to fail at, but he does it anyway. He has a disability. He's not supposed to be going down the stairs with 30 kids by himself and the teachers are way ahead at all. One is supposed to be in the front, one is supposed to be in the back. He went into Lauren's room to do something. They asked him to move the cot. He's like, okay. Lauren told him point blank, don't do it. She's like, write him up for that. Why do you want him write up?
You can finish up.
But he's not going back. I don't want him to go back. He doesn't feel safe. I don't feel him being safe there. And I've already expressed that to the superintendent, but yet still we get the letter saying, oh, he's going to watch her and so forth. No. I've already applied to different schools through the open market, still haven't heard any word, really haven't heard anything from the UFT or the superintendent. I don't want him going back there. I don't feel him being safe.
Thank you. Okay, the next three, thank you. The next three are Rafaela Smith. I apologize if I'm getting it wrong. Mireya Marino and Lauren Eskenazi. Was I close? I try.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rafaela Smith, and I'm a former River School mom and a current incoming Salk mom. So I'm representing both institutions this evening. But I just wanted to start and say really quickly, the River School is a place where every child should feel valued, supported, and be seen. But too many families have witnessed something very different. As a parent, I've watched my bright, energetic brown child be unfairly disciplined and treated as a behavioral problem for normal childhood behaviors, while other students are redirected and supported. My child has been met with exclusion. I've had to fight to ensure that he is seen, respected, and safe. And no parent should have to beg for fairness for their children. The result of this has been toxic leadership, a mass exodus of dedicated educators leaving our school with unstable, understaffed classrooms, and a deeply shaken trust amongst families. Teachers are exhausted, children are vulnerable, and families of color are often made to feel like outsiders in their own school community. Now on to the problems at Salk. We have to call this what it is. It's a bait and switch. Incoming families were not told about a possible move. And now we are left with having to navigate a new future at Salk. Salk and the Gramercy neighborhood is an award-winning environment. We made choices based on that promise of being in the Gramercy neighborhood. We made choices based on that promise. And it's not just Salk as in the name. It's not a roster. Salk is not just a name on a roster. It's a community that has been built over decades, a place where trust, stability, and excellence come together for children. Moving would tear apart those bonds, disrupt learning, and erase the very qualities that drew families there in the first place. We as parents will not let bureaucratic decisions strip our children of education.
If you can wrap up your finish your sentence, of course.
And environments that they were promised. Our kids are not pawns and they are not disposable. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mireya Moreno. I'm a parent of a 4-year-old at River School, and I'm here to express my deep concerns about the decision of keeping Principal Orleans at the beginning of this year in her position. Despite multiple concerns that have been raised by parents and a no confidence vote from teachers, my son has an individualized education plan. Back in November, it was determined that he required a full-time paraprofessional. Although this was approved in early November and there was staff available, it took Principal Orleans more than 3 weeks for the paraprofessional to be assigned. During that time, my repeated emails, calls, and in-person visits went unanswered and were met just with delays. The assignment only happened thanks to the persistent advocacy from his teacher, Ms. Lauren, and not from the leadership that should have ensured timely support. This delay could have been avoided. And it's not only that it affected my son, but it disrupted his entire class. And my case, unfortunately, is not unique. I have spoken with other parents of children with disabilities who have also faced delays or even denials of vital services, pushing them out of school. As a parent of a children with disability, we already navigate a complex and exhausting system, balancing therapies, medical appointments, and constant advocacy. We should not have to fight this hard for services that are legally required and essential to our children's well-being. Without a transparent plan for change, the message to parents and teachers from the administration is clear. Our voices are not being heard. I urge you to take immediate, concrete action to address these issues and to protect teachers. Our children cannot continue to wait. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Miss Lauren. You might have heard about me a few times. I am the chapter leader at the River School PS 281. This is my delegate, Donna Chin. I have been in the DOE, this will be my 19th year. I've been at the River School for 9 years. I've held the chapter leader position 3 separate times. I have worked tirelessly to try to get Principal Orleans to respect the union contract, to respect the legal laws that students are entitled to. And it is met with disregard, utter disgust, and attempts to make the work environment so uncomfortable to force teachers out. I've been at the River School for 9 years. There's only 3 other teachers still there since I've started. We work in one of the most beautiful buildings in Manhattan. There should be no reason for teacher turnover like that. Principal Orleans has actively created a toxic work environment, and it trickles down to our students. Teachers work in fear on a daily basis. Teachers leave strictly because Principal Orleans harasses them to the point where they can't grieve it contractually, but it is untenable. We have no joy in our building. People in the union say when you walk in, you get a chill in your spine. Principal Orleans is the reason for that. For 9 years, again, I will say it, I have tried to ask her to work with teachers to support students for what they need and what is best. And she has dug deeper and deeper and refused, to the point that brought us to a vote of no confidence. 43 people voted, 2 abstained, 40 voted in favor of her removal, and 1 person voted in her support. We have an entire PTA backing us up, saying that we need help at the River School. We need new administration to give the school joy and give the children what they deserve, which is an excellent education with love and support and no fear.
Thank you. The next 3, thank you. The next 3 are Sarah. I'm just going to say Sarah, if that's okay. Okay. I see. Okay. Sorry. You were there twice. Yes. No, sorry. Omar Vera, Joe Vitale, and Evan Stein. You can go behind the table. Yeah. Great. Thank you.
Good evening, District 2. Once again, I'm disappointed that we don't have a quorum. Quorum for the meeting. Like, this is supposed to be a new era. after, after the historical election occurred earlier this year that saw the bigot Bob Maron ousted. But this, like, we need to have this quorum, like, sooner rather than later, because resolution 248 needs to be repealed, like, once and for all. Like, it's shameful that not enough people showed up here tonight, and this is the impact that basically that the Bob Marons and the Monster Liberties of this world apparently brought to our great city. Like, please, I ask everybody, do your jobs, and let's vote on the important things, including repealing that awful resolution that's been here for over a year or so. Because an attack on any one of us is an attack on all of us. And that's all I have to say for this month. And please be ready for the upcoming school year. Thanks.
Thank you. Joe? Welcome back.
Okay, so I have spoken before at these meetings. I am a female athlete who supports Resolution 248, and I oppose Resolution 283, and I oppose Resolution 284. Resolution, again, as I've said before, Resolution 248 cannot be rescinded any more than you can rescind yesterday, because Resolution 248 has already gone through its life cycle. Perhaps somebody on the council can propose a new resolution that would not allow for Frankensteinian reintroductions of old resolutions to harass the panel. And I'm talking about you, Gavin, because you're the biggest proponent of anti-resolution 248. And again, you cannot rescind resolution 248 any more than you can rescind yesterday. I'm dedicating my speech today to Kelly Ayotte, the governor of New Hampshire, for the work she is doing to stop kids from being on the pharmaceutical industry cash cow. As I've said before, every kid that goes on this medical merry-go-round represents upwards of $1 million that the pharmaceutical industry can make off of them. And again, Pfizer Pharmaceuticals and other pharmaceutical companies gives money to the Department of Education. To address concerns from previous meetings, sex differences occur at early ages, and athletic scouts sometimes come to elementary schools. I know because I was scouted. And to address another concern, karate is not part of the public school curriculum. Many girls, and I'm talking about elementary school girls, biological girls, who fall for the pharmaceutical industry propaganda often think they are born in the wrong body. And this might be the result of trauma. This might be a trauma reaction, and it's not getting to the root causes. My final comment is that this represents the new misogyny, because it is the height of misogyny to deny the existence of the female sex that excludes male biology.
Evan? Okay. Welcome, Evan.
Thank you.
Push it in. Yeah.
Good evening. My name is Evan Stein, and I serve as the co-president of the PA. Like many parents here, I chose my child's school not just for academics, but for the environment, where students are known, supported, and challenged. Tonight, I want to talk about what's at stake for that kind of school as it faces a rushed relocation process. This began with the city's need to comply with the state laws on class size. In June, the DOE proposed relocating Salk as early as 2026. Families were given no warning, despite enrolling in a school that they expected to attend for 3 full years. The impact of a midstream move on those students and families was not seriously considered. Hundreds of Salk parents have since written letters and signed petitions asking for more time, more transparency, and a thoughtful long-term plan. The messages from our community is clear. Salk should not be penalized for its success. It should be protected and supported. We understand that the city is under pressure to meet legal requirements. We want smaller classes and better school environments too. but how we get there matters. Salk has been there and a success for over 30 years, fully enrolled, usually over-enrolled. Our students thrive and go on to excellent high schools, and the school was named an exemplary middle school by the U.S. Department of Education. What truly sets Salk apart is how it combines academic rigor with growth. I've seen what it means when a teacher who knows my son, not just by his name, but by his strength and by his struggle. And that's the Salk model. And after the shift to a lottery-based admissions, Salk continued to succeed because it's not about who we admit, but how we teach and how we lead. That success comes from a consistent leadership, experienced faculty, and a shared educational philosophy. At the same time, we see many opportunities ahead. With partnerships already in place at NYU Langone and Pfizer, and with the Spark campus rising in Kips Bay, the city has a rare chance to build a flagship public STEM school by expanding Salk. We imagine a 6 through 12 model that keeps the small school feel while offering students a full science pathway here in Manhattan. And when it moves, they should bring the whole school, its people, its model, and its mission. Let's not dismantle what works. Let's build on it. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Evan. Robert Wu, Sakshi Khatri, and Preeti Chawla. It's close.
Hi, good evening. My name is Robert Wu. I am the father of a rising 7th grader at the Salk School of Science. We're here with one clear message. Do not merge Salk with another school. We share the values of growth and access, but merging Salk achieves neither. Superintendent McGuire has said a merger doesn't have to happen. The director of district planning asked for feedback. You got it. 97% of our community says no. That's not a statistic. It's clear, unified, and resounding feedback. Salk is a national blue ribbon school. Small, vibrant, effective. A place where students are challenged, supported, and inspired every day with warmth, fun, and rigor. A place where strong relationships power strong results. A merger would dismantle the very essence that makes this school exceptional. Instead of dismantling what works, let's build on it. Let's give Salk an independent space near its current location. Let's preserve a beacon of what public education can be, a model of excellence to replicate. Our children are not numbers on a spreadsheet. Their education is not a line item on a budget that needs correcting. Preserve Salk. Protect its independence and integrity. Keep its excellence alive for the next generation by investing in a space on the east side of District 2. Please, save Salk. Thank you.
Thanks, Robert. I don't think I can beat that. Good evening, everyone. My name is Sakshi Khatri. I am a parent of a rising 8th Salk student and an incoming 6th Salk student. I just want to acknowledge by saying that every school in our city is made up of dedicated educators, families, and children who deserve the best possible learning environment. My concern tonight is not about any other school. It's about Salk. It's about, protecting the stability, the culture, and the excellence that Salk families were promised when we chose this school. Families enrolled in Salk expect a full 3-year promise that was made to them and a full 3-year middle school experience. Many of us chose this school based on location, size, academic rigor, community, and culture. A sudden relocation or merger disrupts that promise, particularly for current and incoming students who committed without knowing that this change was on the horizon. So this feels like a decision that is being made for us rather than a decision that is being made with us. Salk's strength lies in its students, its teachers, collaborative teaching model, high academic standards. As Robert pointed out, despite the fact that now we have a lottery system, Salk continues to perform, and it was recently named a national blue ribbon school. These factors are not easily replicated when a school is merged or relocated far from its community. If the DOE believes that a move is inevitable, we urge you to delay a relocation until fall 2028, allowing incoming sixth graders to graduate without disruption. That is the most important ask for us as SALT parents, which more than 97% of us support. So that is an overwhelming majority that cannot be disregarded. Keeping SALT whole and standalone so its faculty, leadership, and program integrity remain intact. Engage parents meaningfully at every step, because transparency and collaboration build trust, something that was lacking up till now. Because a lot of us, in fact, all of us found out about this merger relocation through the social media, which is unacceptable. Rather than dismantling a blue ribbon school that works, let's explore ways to invest in it, grow it. Thank you. Let's invest in, let's explore ways in investing in it and growing its model. And I just want to ask you, show of hands, how many of you that know that SALT celebrated 30 years of its existence this year? So do you actually want to disrupt a school that has shown excellence in education for 30 years just because you want to fulfill a class size mandate? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Sorry, after Catherine will be Mark, just to give you Mark D. Go ahead. Welcome.
Thank you, everyone. My name is Preeti Chavla. I'm the mother of an incoming 7th grader at Saul School of Science. Today, I stand united with fellow parents and the PA and request the DOE no merger for Salk. We oppose this merger wholeheartedly. We agree with class size reduction and proposed growth for all children, but not at the cost of losing an amazing blue ribbon school. I think we've all said it enough number of times. Salk is near and dear to our hearts, not just because it's a blue ribbon school. It's an amazing, nurturing, caring, small school where the administration over years has done a phenomenal job of achieving academic success, but also providing a caring, nurturing environment to our children. So we are here. We oppose this merger. And it's not about one school. We oppose the merger with any school because what Salk deserves, it's its own independence and recognition for being an amazing school. Like pointed out earlier, Superintendent McGuire has stated Salk does not need to merge. We agree. 97% of Salk families on a survey stated they want Salk to stay independent. We've also put a petition on change.org, which has so far been signed by 900 parents and counting. The kids have also signed another petition requesting no merger. In addition, we have support letters from parents and children. While I cannot read all the letters, I do want to read a part of one of the letters. It was by one of the Salk students. It stated, Salk is a special place where relationships are nurtured and a sense of belonging fostered. We may be small, but it feels we are part of something bigger, part of a family, feels like we are home. I worry that if we merge, our school merges with any other school, a part of me, a part of us all will disappear. It is not just about buildings or classrooms. It is about feeling loved and supported as students, as humans, and as learners. Salk deserves to stay Salk, which is why I may be small, but I will fight for my school, my family, my teachers. Please do not merge us. I echo her thoughts. I echo thoughts of all Salk children and families. For the DOE to reconsider, please do not merge us. Please give Salk its independence is what it deserves. Thank you.
Mark, Daz D, Mark D, Mark D, DAZZAM, some. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Mark, and I came here to talk about trans kids in schools, but I was, I'm shocked this is happening, but I found out that my middle school, the Salk School is proposed to be merging with another school, which I think would be devastating for the school culture. I went to that school between 2019 and 2021. It was during the pandemic, but the little time I have there was absolutely wonderful. The teachers are some of the best people in the world, and I feel like if if the merger is moving it to another building, which I think it is, I think that what should happen is that Salk does not need to merge, but they desperately need a new building. That building, I remember being disgusting. There were so many rats. I caught one of the rats in like a cup when I was in 7th grade. They were everywhere. There were roaches. There was a problem with disabled kids and kids who had broken bones would have to drag themselves up the stairs. I remember my friend, well, we were climbed a tree in Central Park and they broke their leg and then we had to drag them up the stairs. That building needs to be renovated, or it needs to be a completely new building with an elevator and to be accessible to all students. Additionally, you guys need to stop attacking trans kids in sports. It's outrageous that you think that there's so much of a difference between a middle school or elementary school boy to a girl. They're kids and they want to play sports. Let them play sports. It's not that big of a deal. They're kids. It's like middle school karate or basketball is not a big deal. It shouldn't be. It's an activity for kids to enjoy and to build a community around, and their identity should not impact that at all. Thank you.
Thank you, and we appreciate everybody's comments. Is there another sheet?
Catherine was on the sheet. I don't know where.
Yeah, Catherine. Oh, are you Catherine? Oh, sorry. I thought I called your name. Sorry. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Hi, my name is Catherine Chang. I'm a mother of a rising, I'm the mother of a rising 7th grade grader at Salk. To nourish and finally create a high-performing school with happy kids takes vision, hard work, blood, sweat, tears, and this very specific synergy between our students, our families, our teachers, our leaders, our staff, and years and years and years to build. Salk, it took 30 years. And now we are a success story. On the other hand, all it takes to diminish a school, for a school to decline, is loss of faith, uncertainty, and demoralized community. Salk is a success story. We're asking DOE, do not merge Salk with another school. Salk is Salk because of its structure, because of its size, because of its institutional tradition. To merge it with another school will basically put all that in jeopardy. The whole goal of reducing class size is to produce a high performance school. Salk is that, and to risk it is a direct contravention of your goal. I'm now just echoing what my fellow parents are saying. So finally, a high tide raises all boats. We need excellent schools like Salk to provide a model for other NYC public schools. Salk, as Salk, is a very necessary institution, not just for our kids, but for kids in District 2, for New York City, and frankly, for this country. So please keep Salk, Salk. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for everybody who came to speak tonight. That concludes the public session. Before we go to the next item, I just want to introduce Cody, who is one of the newly elected members. She was not here last time, so I'm going to ask her if she'd like to introduce herself, tell us a little about herself.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. Next year. So I feel like I'm in a position straddling both the elementary and now the middle school world to have an opinion empathize with everyone and what you're all going through, because I really do feel like I have a foot in both of those worlds. And I was just sitting here and thinking, Mark, when Mark spoke, Mark, correct? That just really just emphasized why I'm so happy to be on this board, seeing everyone's passions about their children and about their own education. It's really wonderful to see people taking an interest in their local community. Community means everything to me. I'm very involved in my children's schools. I'm very involved in my local community, and I'm here to listen to what everyone has to say and hopefully be a voice for all of you. So thank you so much. I hope I can do everyone proud, and yeah, I'm excited to work with everyone and listen. So thank you.
Thank you, Cody, and welcome. I also want to just take a moment just to acknowledge somebody. He's sitting in the back. Naveed Hassan. Naveed is the Manhattan CEC representative to the panel for educational policy. So thank you for coming tonight. Naveed is also a former CEC member, CEC3. He was on there for a number of years and then has been on the PEP for what, 4 years? Fourth year. So thank you for coming tonight, Naveed. Moving to the president's report, couple of things. First of all, I hope everybody's having a great and safe summer. I want to remind everyone that New York City does offer the free summer meals for everyone 18 years and young and under. You can find locations at www.on.nyc.gov/summer meals. They're at select schools, community pool centers, parks, and libraries. You don't need to sign up, show any paperwork. You just go to the location, enjoy breakfast from 8 to 9:15, lunch from 11 to 1:15. There are food trucks from 10 to 4 during the week and 10 to 3 on weekends at 3 locations: Sarah Delano Roosevelt Park on Christie and Forsyth Streets, Prospect Park in Brooklyn, and the Haffen Park at Eli and Hammersley Avenues in the Bronx. And the program does run through the end of Friday, August 29th. ELA and math test scores are out for grades 3 through 8. ELA scores have increased 7.2 percentage points, and math scores have increased 3.5 percentage points since 2024. I'll let Superintendent McGuire talk about these scores in his report, and more specifically how our district fared and what lessons we can learn from the data, because there are always lessons to be learned. The results from the 2025 school surveys are out. There was a 3% increase in the family participation rate, so that's positive, trending nicely, with over 440 families completing surveys, not to mention the 355,000 students and 62,000 teachers. I encourage you to look at your child's school's results. You can go to nycschoolsurvey.org. The new cell phone policy is out. I'm going to let Superintendent McGuire touch upon that. We would have had a resolution tonight to talk about the plan and the communication surrounding it, but I'm sure we will all be hearing from our kids' schools very quickly. And if you go to our homepage, www.CECD2.net, you'll see a link to the plan. On 75 Morton and Salk, I know there's been a lot of talk, and many of you have spoken very passionately about it. And many families have reached out to various council members on the subject. And I know that Superintendent McGuire will touch on this as well. I want to be clear, nothing is imminent. It's still in the discussion stages. The CEC will be very involved in the process as we represent the families and are very concerned with the impact on current and future students of those schools. And the CEC does have approval power over changes in zoning lines, so this will go through us as well. We'll be working with all the interested parties on this issue. And this is one of the, needless to say, this is one of the most impactful issues that we've seen in a while. So we will be working on this in the next few months, over probably the next few years, I would think. And we have heard you. We know this is very impactful. We know this is very important. Many of us have kids that will one day be going to Salk, or hopefully going to Salk. One update on our website. If you go to the resources section on the top menu bar, you'll see a new page with acronyms. Frequently, we use acronyms as the DOE employees, and not everybody always knows what we're talking about. So we added a page with common acronyms and what they mean. So for example, if I say SWD, what is an SWD? Or CR or DLT, it's a whole alphabet city at the DOE, which is another set of initials. But we put that on there to help people navigate through that. First day of school is September 4th. Good luck to all of our teachers and students and parents as well. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our superintendent, Kelly McGuire. Did you send me your presentation?
I did.
Okay.
Sorry.
So for the folks at home, I don't have it online, but I will put on our website the superintendent's report. I'll actually try to I'll get a laptop to try to look at it remotely as well while we're doing this, but I'll have the presentation on the website in the next day or so. Thank you.
You need to use my.
Might as well.
I mean.
For the
Yeah,
rights, yeah.
yeah.
for the Zoom.
No,
Working.
Yeah.
All right, I do want to just first start off by acknowledging the families that are here, both from PS 281 and from Sauk Middle School. We are talking about two blue ribbon schools, which is a unique situation here to be talking two blue ribbon communities in the same here. First to PS 281, I do want to acknowledge very clearly that there were challenges at the end of the year. I want to acknowledge the challenges that teachers have been.
Wire. Try to push the wire.
I want to acknowledge the challenges that teachers have faced at PS 281. And I want to be clear that we are in the middle of a process. We're going to try to move both the teachers and the families and of all students in building. It is truly a process. And our goal at the very beginning of this was to try to be transparent about how it is that we're going to approach and try to resolve through the positions that you reported to me at the end of the year, and try to make sure that this is a thriving community for all students and all staff members. This is not something that can be ignored in any kind of way. The only way that we could move forward with it is to be truly transparent in how it is that we go about it. So we started to share a few things in terms of plans that we can share. There are ongoing processes that are going to be looked at throughout the start of the school year and certainly throughout the year. Always are plans that can be adjusted. There are always plans that can be adjusted and adapted to meet the needs of families and staff members.
Dang it, just try to push me. Sorry.
I'm in a flow here.
We'll talk to your principal. We'll talk to the.
Maybe I'm not. So no, we can always adjust the plan based on the needs of families. And this is it's going to be a partnership and a process. I don't know exactly what the future holds, but I am hopeful that we can move forward in a way that addresses. Maybe I don't have enough. Okay. Yes. I'm giving it up. And Sauk member. And to members of.
It's muted. Does somebody else have it?
I don't even see this is like my profile. Right. Hello.
Somebody else have it?
No. No, do I? Anyway.
Yeah.
Hello.
And they're going on.
I don't see the mouse on this.
Yeah, I'll do it.
External. Sorry.
There you go.
Okay. All right. Okay. Getting back to the SALT community. I appreciate what people have said right at the front of this is that all along there has never been a secret plan or any kind of there's nothing that's stuck in a drawer or any kind of secret plan to merge SALT within a school, merge SALT with 75 Morton. Try to be really, really transparent about that all along. There's a truth that at some point, like people started hearing about the process. We started engaging with the SLT and speaking with the SLT about the work and about the possibility. But this decision is not one that I make, and it's not one that the central office, folks like Naveed, who end up making the decision around whether or not any kind of school merger or any kind of change to a school-based plan is put through. So therefore, it's incumbent upon people like me to pull together people from different communities, representing different groups, to begin to have a discussion about what might be possible. All of this did begin for two reasons, primarily. One is that SALC has always had many, many more applicants than there are. And two, there is a couple years of state law that will mandate that class sizes drop to that drop to, does that work?
Yeah.
That does, okay, all right. That class sizes do drop to new limits across the state. So we're trying to solve a problem, trying to like look creatively at what it is that we had to try to resolve a problem in just a short period of time. I can say that there currently is not a plan that is on the table, and there's not a plan to be discussed. Where we are at is that we have certainly heard from the community in regard to how it is that you are feeling about the the proposal at this time. We are going to look at that, look at what the new, what the fall had, what the central leadership says in the fall about how it is that we might approach issues of district planning. Maybe nothing is going to happen starting in the fall. Maybe new opportunities will come online in regard to how it is that we are approaching class size laws. So we're going to pause on any kind of conversation like this. We're going to continue to explore options like the ones that Evan mentioned in regard to the Spark complex and speaking with elected officials. Those have been conversations that I've actually already had with some of those folks just to see what might be out there, because I have heard that from the community. But ultimately, any kind of decision regarding any school in regard to district planning does have to go through the panel for education policy, and certain decisions are decided on by the Community Education Council. So for now, what we are doing is that we're going to wait and see if the central team, the central leadership, the senior leadership of the New York City Department of Education has information that they want us to use to pursue options for district planning, or if they just want us to pause for now and wait until issues around class size are more on the forefront, and that there are different options that are available to districts trying to solve these kinds of challenges. This is obviously a challenge that impacts both PS40 and SALC, since they share a building. So we're going to continue to look. There are many other places around the district where these challenges exist. And so we're going to wait and see what other options might be available to our district and to our city in trying to come into compliance with state law. So that's where we are. And any kind of discussion will be had initially with the school leadership team of any school, that this goes for SALC or any school a district plan is proposed, and then built out from there. But right now there is not a plan that is on the table. There is no hidden plan. We're going to continue to listen to families. We're going to wait to see if there's more signals coming from our central team in the fall. And we'll certainly keep families engaged, because again, this is not a decision that is made by any one person. It is made by the Panel for Education Policy, and the Panel for Education Policy makes decisions that are favorable to families. So that's what I've got to say about that. Okay, so we just wrapped up summarizing. The Peck Slip School was one of our summarizing sites. Across the district, we served over 2,000 kids across all of our across several elementary and middle schools. Summarizing was incredibly successful. We had some sites with over 400 kids engaged, both in academic learning and enrichment throughout the day. We also had in our District 2 Pre-K Center, we serve students with disabilities in pre-K, both in this building and in another site in Battery Park City. Again, the programs were incredibly successful, and we're looking forward to even expanding on it even more next year. One of the great things about the summarizing program this year is that there was a stronger emphasis on enrichment, on social emotional learning. And so each school that was hosting summarizing had a small allocation to bring in programs. So there were programs that brought in, schools that brought in programs around cooking. They had career days. They had dance performances and dance programs. And it was just a fantastic environment. Reggie and I, Dr. Higgins, our deputy superintendent, and I got to visit all of the different summarizing sites across the district. And everywhere we went, we saw kids who were engaged in good academic and great enrichment opportunities. So our New York State exams just came out across this, for the city. So in District 2, we did see strong growth in our ELA exams. District 2 has been the highest performing district in New York City with state exams. And so we did see a growth in our ELA exams. We saw a slight drop in our math exams. But there are a couple of things that I do want to say about that, of course. We're still continuing to dig into the data and learning more about how it is that our students performed. One of the strong things that I thought was really important to pull out, though, was the growth of our students with disabilities and our Black students. These are two groups of students that have historically performed at rates that were lower than the general population of students in our district. But both of those groups grew almost 5 points over the year in our ELA exams. We also saw a big increase in the number of students, and this is part of the program that we have had in place in regard to how it is that we're accelerating mathematics learning in middle schools. So we have fewer 8th graders this year who are taking the 8th grade exam. Kids in 8th grade either take the New York State 8th grade exam or they take the Algebra 1 exam. They can't take both. So we saw a big increase in the number of students who took the algebra exam. And of those students who took the algebra exam, 88% of them passed that algebra exam. Also, a couple of years ago, one of the plans that I put in place across the district was to ask every single one of our, I'm sorry, this should say biology, not geometry, but ask all of our district schools to work towards the new biology regents exam. This was the first year that the biology regents exam was in place. It was a much more rigorous exam than the living environment exam that it replaced. And in our first year, 87% of our 8th graders passed that biology exam, not geometry. Again, 90% of our 8th graders participated in that exam, representing over 1,400 kids. So we saw some really strong growth in both algebra and obviously a great performance in biology in the first year. Again, growth in our ELA exam with our students with disabilities and our Black students. We also saw an increase in the number of students who are taking both the New York State exam in ELA and in mathematics. Our district over the past few years has seen an increase in student population of about 1,500 students. Many of those students are students who are seeking asylum in our city and our country. This year, many of those students were eligible for the first time to take the New York State exams. And so we saw an increase in the number of students who took those exams to 500 more kids took the New York State ELA and mathematics exam. So that was a great thing to see too. And we'll continue to share more of this throughout the fall. We also saw an increase in the number of students. We have last year was the first year that kids took a New York State exam in science in both 5th grade, 8th grade. And we saw strong growth in the number of students who performed at proficiency on both of those exams as well. So the work that we are doing to improve achievement across the district is that we're exposing all of our students to high quality curricular materials. We are continuing our adoption of Wit and Wisdom in elementary school. illustrative mathematics in middle school. We've also seen many of our elementary schools adopt a high quality curriculum that is aligned with New York State standards in mathematics in elementary school. Many schools are using the illustrative math curriculum in elementary school. Another popular one is Eureka Squared. Both of those curricula are standards aligned. They are new curricula that are coming out. We have a few schools that are still working on adapting their current curricula in mathematics. They are focusing a lot on building wit and wisdom. But we think that we are encouraging more of our elementary schools to work towards Eureka Squared or illustrative mathematics in elementary school, because those are great curricula that we want to make sure all of our students have access to. We also have a bunch of new teachers who are coming to District 2. We've hired an additional 127 teachers to our teacher corps, bringing us close to 2,500 teachers in District 2. We know that many of them are early on in their career. We've also hired new teachers from other districts, from charter schools, from private schools. We are working toward making sure that they have the skills that they need to access the curriculum and to support a diversity of students in the core curriculum. But we're also working across all of our district schools to establish homogeneous opportunities for learning in homogeneous groups. Many of you have maybe heard about a program, a WIN period or an enrichment period that teachers and principals have added to their school program. The WIN period is this opportunity for learning in a homogeneous group. It is not throughout the school day. It's intended to be like one period a day where kids really have the opportunity to build skills. And then we're also working hard to make sure that parents and families are informed of these new learnings. Last year, we started a district-wide program of professional workshops for families around the Wit and Wisdom curriculum. We are looking to expand those opportunities for both illustrative mathematics and Eureka Squared throughout the year. So be on the lookout for that. A quick update. We are very close to being fully hired for the 25-26 school year. We are still missing a few teachers across our schools in high need areas, primarily that is special education teachers in our district. Special education teachers make up the bulk of vacancies that continue to exist in our district, but we still have a month ahead, and we're working to fill those before the start of the year. But we are in pretty good shape, and I'm also really happy to say that all of our brand new principals have fully hired for their schools. It's one of the things that we are keeping an eye on to make sure that those new principals were set and ready to go. Again, the teachers who are new to our District 2 schools, many of them came in through the open market, but we also have hired from charter schools, private schools, and a few people who are new to teaching. I've heard a few stories of people who have moved to New York City for the very first time to teach. That's really, really exciting. It may just be that those stories are on the top of my mind, but it's exciting to have new teachers who have taught in other cities coming to New York to teach our students. So we have a new law around cell phones. This is called the Bell Internet Accessible Devices. Just to let people know a few different things about this, you are going to be receiving, if you have not yet, you are going to be receiving a letter from your school detailing the plan that they are going to use to comply with the law around cell phones and internet-enabled devices. The one thing that is that we've done as a city to make sure that schools are in compliance with that is our legal office and the Family and Community Engagement Office work to put together a letter that every single school can adapt to make sure that it is in complete compliance with this law. So you might see a little bit of a different introduction from the principal, talking about how cell phones maybe had been used in the school previously. But for the most part, that letter is going to follow the exact same format so that it is in compliance with the law. In the run-up to the implementation of this law, every single school got $26 per student in order to put together a program. For some schools, that means that they have purchased yonder pouches or other devices by which they're going to collect watches and cell phones and other devices that are internet enabled. Again, these plans are bell to bell. One thing that might be a little bit unique from school to school is not just the way that they are choosing to store the cell phone throughout the year. Again, a yonder pouch is considered to be storage throughout the day. Just you're locking that pouch and keeping it in your book bag throughout the day. But another thing is that schools have the choice as to whether or not students are going to use their device during after school or not. So that's one area of choice that each school has. Another area of choice that each school has is in regard to whether or not students can unlock their device if their school has out lunch, whether or not they are able to use their device during out lunch. Again, I've only seen a couple of these. We don't have that many schools that have off-campus lunch opportunities for students. It seems like the majority of them are allowing students to use their device at out lunch. These schools are also schools that use those yonder pouches, and they're pretty easy to lock and unlock. The letter that you're going to receive from the school will also make sure that there's detailed information about how it is that you can obtain an exception for your child, as well as how communication will be done in case of an emergency. Another goal that we have, which probably doesn't affect very many of you, well, maybe one of you, is that the Save for College program. The Save for College program has been in place in New York City for a few years. Save for College is a partnership with foundation money and provides students with an opening account, an opening 529 account of $25 for every single student. Not going to get you the tuition bill for a first-year university, but the goal here is really to get those 529 accounts opened. Once a family completes the paperwork to open their child's 529 account, an additional $25 is actually added to that account. And then families can contribute, and also some different foundations can contribute to the Save for College 529 account. I was at an event last spring at Tweed, and a parent from PS40 had done some fundraising in the community and decided that they wanted to, as a part of the Save for College program, and she decided that she wanted to pay homage to her alma mater, PS40. And so those funds were divided up amongst all of the kindergartners at PS40, and that amount was added to each PS40 kindergartner's account. Lots of different things like that can happen across the district. We have lots of generous families and lots of alum who are still living here in Manhattan. And so this is a goal of ours to make sure that we are increasing the number of students who are participating in the Save for College program. We have some key dates in September. Again, September 4th, the first day of school. There are Meet the Teacher nights or fall principal conferences that are available at different grade levels. We are off for Rosh Hashanah, and we're looking forward to a fantastic school year. Our District 2 team has been working incredibly hard. Many of those workshops happening right here in this building. I think we've had workshops going on in the Peck building for hundreds of teachers across District 2 in mathematics, in literacy, in science, and we're looking forward to a fantastic year. So thank you, and I'm happy to take any questions.
Questions from the council. Sorry. But the superintendent generally remains afterwards if you want to speak to him. We'll start from the left and we'll go right. Yeah, Gavin, you have any questions?
Yes, I do.
We'll just go start. Just speak, unmute yourself.
Yeah.
That would be great. Thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, this is not going to work well. But so my first question, I guess I'll just start from the beginning in terms of public comment. My first question is about the river school. And generally, virtually always, if we're hearing about something in the meeting, it's not the first time we're hearing about it. We've all heard about it in other fora. We've talked to parents, we've talked to others in the community, and we've heard about these issues. And this also came up in our June meeting as well. So we know this is an ongoing issue, and okay, sure. Yeah, I'll take the microphone just. So we know that, no,
Okay, try it now. It's fine. I go by mine.
Okay. So one of the things that just strikes me is hearing about things like the delay in assigning a one-on-one para, which is, we all know is very important, particularly for students with disabilities. My own child had a one-on-one para for a time. And so not having that kind of service that's mandated in IEP is very concerning, and particularly when we see a recent article in like Chalkbeat that the court order that the DOE is under for us to provide special education services, put through by the special masters, is not really being complied with. So I wonder, is there some way we can escalate this investigation of the issues going on at the River School, or kind of speed this up, because school is starting in very, very soon. And I think that giving parents and teachers and people in the community some further news or further kind of roadmap of the path forward before September 4th would be really helpful. I have a few other questions, but I'll give that to you.
Try to improve the situation there. There are processes around investigations. Some of that is done by our office. Some of that is not done by our office. We were coming up to a point where we were a month away from the start of the school year, and I was starting to get emails and messages from lots of families who said, we just want to know what the plan is. And so we started to communicate with the community to let them know what the plan is. I've spoken with a few parents specifically in regard to serving and supporting students with disabilities. There are many steps that we are putting in place. Time will tell whether or not those steps that we put in place are both adequate and truly work to rectify any kind of challenges that are there. We're working on putting into place a family advisory committee around serving students with disabilities at the River School. That is something that we have heard about explicitly. Members of our district team will be a part of that. We are staying very closely engaged with the River School. through any kind of challenges that the school is facing. We're going to remain so. As I said before, we have the outline of a plan with some very specific steps that are going to take place. If those steps need to be adjusted and changed, then we will do that. If those steps prove not to be adequate, then we will certainly learn that. But our office, I have informed our entire office that we are going to be engaged with the River School and with supporting the community.
Thank you. And my next question is about SALC. I'll get the two big elephants in the room out of the way first. Is there? I realize that we are up against the class size mandate, looking at complying with that. But has there been any discussion with district planning, with DOE Central, about possibly pushing the decision about what to do, whether it's merger, co-location, whatnot, to 2028?
No, because a decision like that would be made in part by families and committees from the SALC community, the SALC school. So we haven't talked about any specific details other than saying that we are going to back off of any kind of conversation around a merger. We're going to speak with senior leadership in New York City Public Schools when we get into the fall and the first part of the year. And then we will re-engage with the SALC community if that's if there are options there for us to move or any other kind of plan would involve the SALC community.
Yeah, I guess I was just thinking about the potential, whether if it's on the table or off the table or not, is to push it back from 2027, 2028. Like if we could alter the timeline a little bit, that might give some assurances to parents who started at SALC thinking they were going to finish at SALC current location. So I guess my last question is, we know that there has been we've had a number of DOE students so far, we know of high school students who have been abducted by ICE. Students who are in the sort of legal immigration process seeking asylum, who have gone to a scheduled hearing, not too far from where we are right now, only to be abducted and put into custody. And in some cases it's Pennsylvania, in some cases it's Texas, in some cases they have moved through multiple states. The most recent one was just a few days ago, a student at Brooklyn Frontiers High School. And I know that the chancellor recently, I think earlier this afternoon, put out a short statement about that. And I'm just wondering, what kind of communication is DOE Central, is the chancellor's office giving to superintendents, to other school staff about those students, particularly when it seems that this is a sort of a problem that is escalating?
When the school year starts up again, the Central Legal Office of New York City Public Schools will meet with us again to make sure that everyone in our schools, including school safety officers and all staff members, are aware of our policies and practices around how it is that we address and deal with ICE or any non-local law enforcement that shows up at our door. I will say that in speaking with our central team and learning from our central safety officers, is that I know one thing that is really important to our schools is that when a student is arrested, when a family has been impacted in that way, that our central team does everything that they can to make contact with the family, to connect the family with resources, legal resources, and to make sure that they are aware of their rights. This is something with which I know that our legal team has been a part of this summer. And have addressed every incidence of this in that way, making sure that families are aware of the steps that they can take, protect themselves, protect their loved ones.
Cody?
Thank you. I'll pass it.
I wanted to, quick question, because, you know, our board covers elementary school, middle school, and having just did, I think we did 14 middle school tours. That's a lot. Every one of them already had a cell phone policy in place. Are there any middle schools that we have that don't in District 2? Maybe I don't know if you can answer that off, but
they all had a cell phone policy.
right.
But
But maybe not a bell to bell.
Maybe not a bell
Okay.
policy. And almost all of our middle schools were also using these kind of pouches.
Yeah, the yonder pouches. Okay, so this, are you foreseeing this being any sort of issue in the middle school arena? I know the high schools seem like it could be more difficult to implement, but is it more straightforward in the middle school arena?
Yeah.
In our schools, I do not foresee this to be a problem. Our schools are almost entirely in compliance with what the law states. And our one high school also uses yonder pouches as well. In a couple of the grades, the juniors and seniors now have to also use those yonder pouches. Previously they didn't. Yeah, I think it is just, I mean, watches were not previously collected. Other devices, it was just cell phones. So there will be some small tweaks, but I don't foresee it to be a big deal.
I think that's all I had. I do just want to quickly say that does everyone at the River School, and you said you've been in close contact with all of them, do all the teachers and the PA members know how to get in touch with your office with continued concerns? Or I guess just hoping that there's some liaison support, because as I know, this is an ongoing investigation and it's difficult you can't tell us everything that's happening, but I just want to make sure that everybody knows who they should get in touch with, especially, I mean, we have a lot of people who are speaking up and putting themselves out publicly, which I know can be really scary. So just want to make sure that everybody from your office is communicating with them in a way they all know how to get in touch with you. If that makes sense.
I think so. And I also, I mean, okay. No, that's okay. My cell phone is on there too. And I'm putting faces to names because I haven't spoken with you all in person before. But yeah, I mean, my hope is that the large number of families and staff that have come together make this an easier thing to and share concerns.
You don't have to not everybody got it.
Right.
No, I.
Pretty much covered what I wanted to, but one question I had, and this came up when I sat in on a parent coordinator interview for a D2 high school. Will there be any guidance in terms from central or from the district in terms of giving exceptions on the cell phone policy for students with disabilities? Because I know that I know people who had experiences already that have been challenging when their child uses one for a disability.
Yes, the law clearly states that exceptions for students with disabilities are permitted. And if we make sure to let schools know that if they need support with how it is that they codify that exception, that we will do that. I don't think anybody wants to get in the way of making sure that students have access to the technology and resources that they need in order to access core curriculum and thrive in school.
I only have one question, but it has 37 parts, 14 subparts. No, I'm only kidding. I'm gonna let my two colleagues here, and then I'll go last. Daniela, I think you have a question.
Okay, I have many questions. I apologize. I feel no need to speak at every meeting. I'm only gonna speak when I feel my fellow council members haven't asked. So, on the task force, I mean, I have many concerns about this data. I have written extensively. I'm treating as preliminary, but you mentioned we have strong growth in reading and slight drops in math. So the highest growth that we have in reading for District 2 this year is 9.8 on 5th grade, which is great. Again, I hope the data is correct and we can all celebrate these gains. We have a drop of 17.2 in level 3 and 4 for 8th grade math. So that's not a slight drop. I would love to know if you have already what's happening with 8th grade. Is this like, I already know when I'm going to high school, so I don't care about tests anymore. We have this problem in 12th grade as well. And we only have like 337 more students taking the state test this year in District 2, and not a lot more. I mean, 100 more in 8th grade. So I don't know if that's the problem, that we just had an influx of new students that, you know, might be really behind and so could not do so well in this test. But what happened here in 8th grade math?
So part of the shift to illustrative math was to make sure that starting in 6th grade, our students were exposed to an accelerated curriculum so that we could get more students to take the Algebra Regents exam. More students took the Algebra Regents exam than had previously taken it, leaving students who did not take the Algebra Regents exam. Those were generally our students who were not as high performing who took that exam this year.
So
we basically took the highest performing students out of that pool of students who are taking the 8th grade math exam, and they're now taking the algebra exam.
Okay. So that, you think that explains the big drop?
We'll you've done more than, yes, I appreciate your leading it.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to clarify that. So on the River School, I just want to put a word of caution. I am not familiar with all the details, but it's my 5th year at the council. In my opinion, your office has been slow in some cases of failed leadership in other schools, and that have put students' physical safety in real danger. And I think it has damaged the schools that, you know, they will never recover. So I think my only word of caution, and I understand that there are processes, there are UFT contracts, there are principals contracts, and everything needs to be respected. I understand it's a big bureaucracy, but I really think we need to take this seriously and follow the process. And when there are problems with leadership, like, they need to be dealt very seriously. So that's my only word of caution. For the SALT community and the question of PS40 and Morton, my question is, well, first, I mean, we all know that this law is horrible, it's expensive, it's not possible to be implemented. Your rage should be directed at our state lawmakers who passed this law. We all said this is never going to happen. Like, it's literally, we don't have space, even with the huge drop of number of students. You know, there are many other schools that are in the same situation. Naveed, wait until they cut seats at the SHSAT schools, then you're going to see how angry people are going to get. Because the reality is that the vast majority of fully enrolled schools in our districts are the highest performing schools. It's the schools where everybody wants to be. The schools that are empty in our school, in our district, in our city, are low performing. Nobody wants to be there. And so that's why they have low class sizes. But that aside, if you want to read the minority report, the coalition of parents have put this out saying that this law is just going to cut seats in the schools where everybody wants to be. This is what's happening with SALT. This is going to happen in many other schools in our district. This is just the first case that we're going to see over the next years implementing this law. My big question is, if literally there is no way that those two schools can be in the same building, and you know, and I understand that PS40 is a zone school, so you need to guarantee that everybody who lives in that neighborhood, in that zone, needs to have a kindergarten seat. You know, I think the solution will not make everybody happy, like including me. I have a 3rd grade. I'm also looking for middle schools, hopefully finding one good in the district. So
My only concern is that we're talking about merging like a blue ribbon school that is high performing when we have huge problems of middle school in our district with a school that is literally like slowly dying because it's a school that has lost 2/3 of enrollment in the last 5 years. So I don't even think that that should be on the table, a merger. Like we need to preserve the high performing schools in our district. We are, losing middle school students who and families who like really want high performing schools. So I really hope that we don't be suicidal in the district and try to like merge a school that is clearly not performing, who has lost 2/3 of enrollment, with a school that, as you said, like there are more people applying to than have seats. So I just really hope that and again, I understand, I don't envy your position or people at the PEP who are gonna have to find a solution. I am sure that not everybody's gonna be happy with the solution, but I really hope that we preserve, the seats that are being demanded, where there is demand, where families in our district actually wanna go to. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Actually, all of my questions were answered somehow. Thanks to my colleagues as well. I just want, if you don't mind, to meet with the parents, River School parents after this meeting, if you guys don't mind. And I have just one question, maybe outside this agenda. What is the position of the Department of Education on foreign language as a regular class in elementary schools?
Foreign language in elementary school right now is it's an option for schools. Yep. So I think that we have schools that have expressed interest in building foreign language programs. I do think that there's going to be a lot of challenges around programming that schools are going to need to figure out in the next couple of years to make sure that they are coming into compliance with class size law. I think that there are, especially in schools that are under enrolled, expanding foreign language programs, dual language programs is one of the ways in which we're looking at the possibility of expanding programs and options for families.
Thanks. And most of my questions are answered. I just going on to the Salk 75 Morton, one part of the equation, which we haven't really spoken about, is Salk's neighbor or cohabitant, PS40. And I just want to talk about that and just get an understanding as to what is their situation. My understanding is they were one of the few elementary schools that did not apply for the class size funding this year because they weren't able to, because they are at capacity as well. And what would happen if you got the extension from class size till 2028 or beyond from Salk? How would that affect 40? Would that have to happen in conjunction? Because or would that mean that 40 then has to reduce its enrollment to comply with the class size law? So I'm trying to understand where 40 fits in with all of this at this time.
Only about half of our elementary schools applied for the class size reduction money. About half across the district. So half elementary, half middle. I do think that families, whether it's PS40 or other communities where the principal did not currently see a pathway for being able to implement class size, there are concerns that are growing in those communities. I will just say. One of the rules by which the policy rules by which we are currently abiding and working to implement this policy is that we are not reducing the total number of students who are enrolled in the school the previous year. We're rolling that over to the following year. So we can't build a program of class size reduction that reduces the total number of students who are in the building. I'm not exactly sure what different ways both city and state policymakers might take to try to help schools come into compliance with that law.
And then one other question is, to your knowledge, and I know some parents are talking to the elected officials about this, but in the general surrounding area of Sauk, so by Stuytown, East Village, etc., within the D2 confines, you have to have it within the D2 confines, is there any available space that you know? Because I believe when we spoke to SCA, I spoke to SCA, I don't know, a few months ago about something, and we talked about new buildings and to start to decide, say, I want to put something in a new building. That's 8 to 10 years by the time you find it, get all the approvals, get the neighborhood, because not everybody wants a school on their block. Then get it. Then at that point, that's at the point at which they start doing plans, and then the building, and then there's problems with the building because it's New York City contractors, and everything takes twice as long. So that could be an 8 to 10 year process. Are there any buildings that on the east side that you know of now? And I'm not saying that you know every building, because you don't, none of us do, but that you know of that actually could be a temporary home for the next 8 years or whatever, if we kept Sauk on the east side.
I don't. I don't know of any buildings that are currently owned or leased by New York City Public Schools or by the city that would be available for a 400 seats middle school. But there are many people who are looking at different options. People who are here, people who are elected officials. And I know that people are going to continue to explore that.
Okay.
Related. As a West Sider, there are considerably more middle schools on the east side. Like most of them are on the east side or lower Manhattan. So I would hope that if we are looking at space, to look at District 2 as a whole, because there are certain pockets of our district that have no middle school representation at all. Midtown specifically, pretty much nothing. Upper East Side has a lot, over by Sauk has a lot, and parents on the west side, you have to think about sending your kid literally down all the way to South Street Seaport to get to some options. So I would hope that, I think the important thing that we're hearing is that nothing has been decided, and I hope everybody, goes back, because we all know the rumor mill and our WhatsApp chats. Nothing has been decided, but I do hope that obviously we want to listen to everyone, but I do think we need to take into consideration where most of the middle schools are, and they all seem to be in the same places. So that's just something to think about. Is there any sort of way that they do look at it in terms of the whole district? Because unlike elementary schools, which are zoned, if you live on 59th Street, you're zoned schools in the West Village. So that's not really a zone. I mean, it is a zone school, but it's not a community school for you. You're still, that's further away than a lot of the other schools. So just something to think about if there's any sort of consideration for that.
I guess I'll just point out what I think Craig pointed out, which is that any kind of rezoning or planning in that kind of way is a CEC function. So they come your way. We'll see.
Okay.
I have one more.
Go ahead, Gavin.
Are there any dying schools in District 2? Dying schools.
Define dying, define dying.
So the reason I asked that question is just because I don't believe there are dying schools. I think that, schools are made up of communities, of parents, of students, of educators. And if we harm a school, if we stand up here and say that a school is dying, we will kill it. So let's not say that.
You don't have to comment on this one. I think you should. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Superintendent McGuire. And if you can send me that presentation, we'll get it up on the website in the next day or two. I also generally put it on Facebook if any of you are connected on Facebook, and Twitter or X or whatever it's called these days. As we mentioned earlier, we do not have a quorum tonight, so we cannot consider resolutions. I do want to apologize on behalf of the council that we don't have a quorum. We did not expect this to happen. There were some last minute illnesses of council members or council members' kids. So unfortunately, we intended to have a full group. We also are missing the two borough president appointees. They have not been announced yet who they are. So we hope to have that soon as well. But the quorum is 7, no matter how many seats are filled. So I do apologize, and we'll hold off on the resolutions until next month. We don't have committees, so there's no report of committees that we could do. What I would like to do, and to create a committee at the CEC, you need a vote, an actual vote. So we can't do that tonight because we can't take votes. However, there are some changes to our bylaws, various changes to bylaws that I've spoken to some council members that are of interest. And what I don't want to delay that, because what happens is when you have a bylaw proposal, you have to present it at a meeting and then you vote on it at the next meeting. So you're already a couple of months away. So I don't want to lose that much time. What I'd like to do, and I'd like to gauge the council's okay with this, or council's sentiment, is informally say we have a bylaws committee and we just have a meeting. Now, bylaws committee does not make any decisions. They just basically compile. And then that's compile recommendations, and that's presented to the CEC at the next calendar meeting. So we just have we have a bylaws committee. Whoever wants to come comes, and this way we can be in a position where we can recommend or present changes to the bylaws in the September meeting. Again, the bylaws committee will not make any decisions outside of, compiling everything. There's no decisions. It's actually just a functional committee. Can we do that?
Can't we do this anyway without a committee?
We could, but what I'd like to do is have an actual bylaw. I'd rather not spend an hour debating everything and putting things up at a calendar meeting. And then have you present things and Daniela present things at a meeting. We hopefully can consolidate one set of changes, and we can vote on individual changes, of course. But I'd like to actually present it and have a meeting to do that.
I mean, we all have to vote on it.
We all have to vote on it, and we don't vote at the bylaws at a committee meeting. I want to have a meeting before the next meeting to do it. So we can present it at the next meeting and move forward on things. Because otherwise we lose another meeting.
And because our meetings tend to be long, and then we get
correct. Correct. And our meetings tend to be long. I'm not going to go into why. And this way we can spend time on doing that, and we can discuss why people think changes are needed, what changes people want, and why, and we can have that conversation. So is that okay? Okay. And that would be it. So I'm going to move to adjourn the calendar meeting. Any objections? Well, we can't vote. Any objections? Okay, the calendar meeting is adjourned. We still have to go through the working business meeting, so the council members can just stay for a couple of minutes. Want to thank everybody for coming tonight. Again, I apologize, we do not have a quorum. I know Russ has asked some folks to stay. This will be pretty quick, so if you can bear with us. But if you're leaving, if you could leave in, so this way we can conduct our business, so we can leave quietly. Thank you. Okay, you want to?
Yes.
So I'm going to call this working business meeting to order for CEC2. It is 8:17. We're going to do a call to order. Okay. Allison Bowen. Allison Bowen is excused. She sent an excusal in. Gloria Chu is excused. She sent an excusal in. Danielle Egoroff. Stay here. Danielle Egoroff is here. Gavin Healy.
Here.
Gavin Healy is here. Aaron Carr.
Here.
Aaron Carr is here. Cody Lindquist. Cody is here. Am I saying that right, by the way? Okay, thank you. Russ Mavlinoff. Here. Russ is here. Tamara Reed. Tamara Reed is not here. Sabina Serenice. Sabina Serenice sent an excusal for medical reasons. Craig Sluskin is here. So we do not have a quorum. She has to send it. She didn't send anything in. Asking for it. She has to send it to me.
Oh, maybe
she can do it tomorrow. Tell her. She can do it. She can do it tomorrow. Yeah.
We're all trying to figure out who's supposed to send what to.
For now, it's the interim. We'll figure it out. It'll play that stuff out. Okay. The only thing I wanted to talk about, well, two things. Meeting dates and liaison. So meeting dates. what we did last term was we met on the third Wednesday of every month. Are people okay with that? Forget about next month. We'll talk about next month in a second.
So I looked it up, there's a couple.
And we move them to the, we moved to the week before or after if it was like spring break or something. Are people generally okay with the Wednesdays?
Yes.
Okay, next month, the third Wednesday, at least for several schools, I don't know if it's for every school, but for every school that I've asked, happens to be elementary school curriculum night. So can we agree not to do it the third Wednesday of next month? So this way we can have the maximum participation. I don't want people to feel they have to choose between curriculum night for their kid, parents and council members. It would be the 10th because the Wednesday, well, we can do the Wednesday after is where there's no school. We could do it the Wednesday before, we could do it the Tuesday before. I mean, it doesn't have to be Wednesday, but want to just keep it Wednesdays? Wednesday the 10th?
Yeah, it's total, it works for me.
Okay.
And I can do the 10th, yeah.
Can we revisit this? Like, plan the third Wednesday, that's fine, but revisit the next time when we have the full.
Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine. Yeah, no, that's totally fine. That's totally fine. And we're not, 10th will be third. We'll absolutely, it makes a lot of sense.
September 10th.
September 10th will be the next
Okay.
meeting.
I can do.
Okay, and then I've spoken to a few of you in this. I think it's clear that we have a lot of work to do with some of our schools, River School, Salk, and Morton, and I'd like to start to get the liaison schools set. What we did last time, and I actually went back to the notes, I went back to the videos as well. Everybody gave Len up to 6 choices, and then Len and I put together a matrix that we presented. And at the meeting, we said, is everybody okay with it? If everybody is not okay with it, please let us know. Please let Len know. Nobody did. I asked Len. I'd like to start doing that. So I'd like to send out the list of all school. What I will do is send out a list of all schools, and then you can choose up to 6. If you don't care at which schools, you don't have to put 6, you can put 0. I think someone put 2 schools. It worked. It wound up working out well last time. Most people everybody got at least 2. I think a bunch of people got 4 of their schools. So can we?
But just to be clear, the decision is being made next month.
Yes.
Okay.
I will present a recommendation, and then people can decide. You can decide. And you can't put your children's school.
So last time what we did was actually we gave our best stuff to Len, and then Len and whoever made the decision as the president on what schools we did. For example, I didn't get most of the schools that I asked.
You had 2. You had 2.
So I think that we should wait till we have, I mean, we can put in our preferences, but there should be no decision made until we have, first of all, we have an elected officer, so we don't have a borough president appointed. So we have 2 people who have not had a chance to input their. So I think that any decision needs to be made once the new officers and once the borough president.
We may not have officer. We don't know that we'll have officers in the next meeting. We may have, I mean, there are CECs that went a year and a half without officers because they were at deadlocked. It was not at the meeting, and I listened to the video. You can watch the video. Len specifically said, if anybody doesn't like what they have, please let me know. This is not set in stone. You can listen to the video. It's in October. Please do.
So first of all, I never had a chance to, if I had told Len I didn't like something, please change it. Len would have told me to fly a kite.
You don't know that. You don't know. You don't know that.
Well, I
You
had
don't know that.
experience. But the other thing is that Len had been elected president by the full council, and we had our borough president appointed.
Well, so we will have I'm assuming we will have our borough president appointees before the next meeting. We wouldn't do a matrix until everybody gets to choose. Let's say we get the borough president appointees in 2 weeks. We'll ask them as well. We're not going to make any decisions until.
Send the list.
Yes.
That's what,
That's all that's
consider
being
it.
proposed, just sending the.
Yes.
We don't have to.
It won't be final until we actually have a president, we
Right.
can vote, but at least
I find out.
we can start the process.
Right.
Yeah.
But I
Yes.
don't think any decision should be made until.
No, I think this is just like getting prepared.
Right.
for less
Yeah,
work.
getting ready for when we have.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes.
Everybody happy? Ish. Okay. And that's it. So we are adjourned for the working business meeting. It is 8. Oh, go ahead.
We had mentioned them when we talked on the phone, or when we had our meeting with, the small group meeting,
that should we discuss like a list of schools that have good tech that we could like rotate between? Would that be helpful for you? I know that's,
Why don't we wait until the next meeting and we'll see who the
okay. We
officers
don't know
are.
when you figure out.
We figure it, Victor works on that.
Okay.
Okay. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
You.